And we're going to hit that right there. I thank everybody for joining us here on the Sourceseeker Hour. This is going to be a special show, and we're going to do some videos. We're going to have some conversation, and we may have a few more guests to come on. I want to read something as I do another screen share, and then everybody will have the opportunity to share their experiences. Thank you very much. Bear with me 1 second as we do this. And here we go. The motherland, where life started. Kilimanjaro, one of the most important places in the history of the world. Have you ventured to find your history? Have you sought out the history of creation? Join my brother Godwin at the Travel Wonderful Wellness Center in Arusha, Tanzania, right there on the outskirts. His beautiful mountain retreat, tour the Serengeti, and see the true experience of nature. Climb Kilimanjaro and look into the beginnings of creation. Explore the Ngorongoro crater, where some scientists believe a spaceship landed and planted the seeds that started all human life on Earth. Come explore and experience nature. Go to the Tanzania Mountain Retreat. Some say Tanzania Mountain Retreat. Be welcomed by my brother Godwin. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. I'm your host, Rudy Carl Alexander. And we thank you very much. And I welcome back my guest, Sin Olashula, from right here in Houston, but he's in Arusha, Tanzania. Can you share with us, brother, long distance? Why are you in Tanzania and how are you doing?
So, first of all, it's good to be welcomed here. It's good to see you, brother.
Good to see you.
Yes, so I personally kind of got fed up with America, like a lot of different things going on that just made it pretty close to unlivable. It was quite unhospitable. And so with me and my wife together, we kind of made a decision to actually visit a couple countries. And that was before the virus, before the increase in hostility from white police officers and white private citizens, as well as our own people. And so instead of making the decision to visit somewhere, we actually went ahead and made the decision to move. Our children, it kind of pushed the issue a little bit, because they actually they asked us, like, why do we have African names but we're not Africa? Why do we not in Africa? Why do we practice all of these different African customs but we're not in Africa? And I didn't really have a good answer for them. And so instead of making that visit, we went ahead and made the move for it to be long term. And like that, we just make sure we had all of our ducks in a row, all our I's dotted, all our T's crossed, and we went ahead and made that transition, and everything has been good so far.
Super powerful. Now, first I want to talk about, this is a miraculous connection. I'm in Houston, in my house, and you know where Houston is, and yeah. I've traveled to where you are. You go across the water, it's about 16 hours across the water.
Yeah.
According to what plane you fly. I mean, you have a lot of time to think. You have a lot of, and then you go through some other processes. You have to go to this customs department in this country. So it's a lot to it. So it was a lot to your decision, and it's a lot to this technology that is allowing us to see each other. And that's super powerful. So what are some of your goals as I wait on my sister to come in, Sister Shia? You're welcome to unmute and to show your screen. What are some of your goals for your yourself, your kids, and some of your wife goals? What are some of the goals that you all have?
So goals, just speaking for myself, is really to establish a good source of income. Like we already have that online, like doing teaching online classes with the with Sister Nakala's school, the Whole Living Academy. I do a couple of different classes and some tutoring with her school program, and so does my wife. And we make sure that we kind of keep busy. You know, we always finding things to do, finding ways to engage with the community, with the people here. And one of my goals was not only to set up like sources of income and revenue streams, but making sure that we able to adjust a lot better than we thought we would be able to. And so at this point, that goal is being fulfilled. We are setting roots pretty good, and that was one of my goals, is being able to just get comfortable to some degree, and not be in the transition phase for too long. That was one of my goals. And then learning Swahili, that's one of my ongoing goals. Like I'm constantly learning. And no, I can't speak any to you right now because I'm I'm not the on the spot type of person, but I can communicate well enough to be able to get food for the family and get places where I need to go, and do a little bit of small talk. And I'm not really big on small talk as it is anyway, but I do it just to make sure I can communicate with people, because small talk is kind of a cultural thing here. And so just asking about how people's day is and how their family and how their life is going. And so I engage in that, and I think I'm growing in that goal as it is. And then as far as the children go, making sure that they learn Swahili, making sure they get situated here.
They're gonna be quicker than you are.
I know. I'm ready for it. I know. I'd like my daughter. She's already learning really, really well right now, and as far as I know, my wife, I don't want to speak for her, but I know for sure she wants to learn Swahili as well, and she wants to make sure that just our family is as stable as possible. But like right now, she's asleep because it's 7:15 in the morning here, so y'all haven't even had the New Year yet. But
yes, ladies and gentlemen, as I explained earlier, it is a 9 hour difference. So we started at 10 o'clock. My brother was gracious to get up at 7 a.m. in the morning. Look at that right there, ladies and gentlemen, in that background. And Arusha is a very beautiful scenery. Can you talk about the scenery and a little bit about the geography of the city?
So at the moment where we are at this home, this is in the Tengaru district, and the region is Kwapole, and so we are basically we're probably about, I'll say probably.
Let me interject
70,
a second. I got to get something right. Is it pronounced Tanzania or Tanzania?
So talking to the nationals here, they have, of course, they have an accent that is particular to this area, and so they say Tanzania.
Tanzania. That's what we're gonna say then.
Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, I've been calling it that myself after hearing so many people say it, and actually they kind of correct me because the vowel sounds are completely different. Well, they're not completely different. They're just different because the vowels don't have the multiple sounds the way the vowels have multiple sounds in English speaking. So the letter A takes the ah sound, and so it's Tanzania.
It takes a little getting used to, but after you've been there as a Black person, what I found that, hey, we got it kind of in our soul to bring it out. If it's like that reservoir. Real quick, I would like to share with the audience It looks like we're going to have some time here. So I would like to share with the audience my experience when I came to Tanzania in 2012. First of all, I came there to look for the beginning of life from all of my research. And so what I saw, it was in the Kenya, and Kenya borders Tanzania. Let me make sure I say it right. Correct me when I'm wrong on that, because we got to get it right. So I came and looked in that region and looked at the area where research, a book like African Exodus and others have talked about, that's where life started. And most sane and true people will let you know that life started somewhere in Africa. And so I looked there, and you have what's called a Ngorongoro crater. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
If I'm not mistaken, it's Ngorongoro.
Ngorongoro. Okay. Now, I read some strange research. I listened at some of those late night shows that where they're talking about scientific or extraterrestrial theories, and they said they believe that in the Ngorongoro crater, a spaceship possibly could have landed and started planting the seeds to humanity. And out from that region, it started populating other parts of the world. Now, that was my reason for coming. Let me quickly talk about some of my experiences. I was not prepared for not having the toilet like we have in America. So one of the first things I asked was to use the restroom. And my brother Godwin, bless his heart, he pointed to that hole in the ground right there. And I wasn't prepared for that. And so that's one of the reasons why I got sick. And then in the village where Godwin took me to, and the house where I stayed, I assume he still has that area there. I believe it's called the USA Village. It's about 20 miles from Arusha, and they walk it. I mean, yes, they get vans, but if the van is not available or too crowded, they walk it. And so I call myself walking it with them. And I walked it and then walked it back. But a day later, I had to go to the hospital. And in the midst of doing that, I'm trying to walk Kilimanjaro. And you know, the air and the temperature, the air especially, is different. You're higher sea level. You have mountains, Kilimanjaro and Meru, and by the grace of God, I'm still alive. So it's more than a notion to change your environment from where we are here in Houston to Arusha, Tanzania. Hello, how are you doing, ma'am? Can you hear me?
Hold on.
Okay, we'll just keep working on it. We're on the show. We're live with my brother from, and we're on Facebook Live, by the way. I'm live with my brother from Arusha, Tanzania, and we have two other guests that are getting ready to join us. What were your experiences, brother Sintwali, and what things surprised you? You're still on mute, sir. You're still on mute, Sintwali. There you go.
So one of the main things that was part of my ongoing experience here is has been just getting used to the distance between locations that I need to be at, and so having to travel without having a vehicle of my own at the moment, like that's not something I'm not used to, because for a long time we didn't have a car in America. Got one eventually, but I don't have a car here right now. So I would have to hire a driver, which is not very sustainable because that means constantly paying them, or I would have to walk, or what I do normally for my mode of transportation is called the dollar, and it's a small little van where You get on the van and it takes you to like a common point where it's basically like a transit center to some degree, you know, or just a bus stop. But I get on the dollar and I'm sitting on it, driving down the road, and then more people get on, and then more people get on. Next stop, even more people get on, and so at some point, people are packed in there like sardines. But at the same time, we have to remember.
Hey, brother, can I show the people real quick what the dollar looks like? Let me see if I can show them real quick. Okay, 1 second. Everybody, this is an example of the shuttle that is one of the, now this is one of the bigger ones, isn't it, Brother Santwali? Can
Yes,
you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's one of the bigger ones. But what I used to go do is go to the village where God went, and it'd be like 6 of them in there, and you have to catch one, or you got to wait, or you got to walk. And I'm going to stop the share right now and go back to you. Okay, I'm back to you, sir.
So, like,
go ahead.
Yeah, that experience, like you said, that was a bigger shuttle. The ones that I'm aware of, they smaller, and they cram people inside of them. And right now, the virus is what it is in other countries, but in Tanzania and a good number of African countries, the virus isn't as bad as it is. In some places, it's just non-existent. And like whenever I have encountered anybody getting sick, it was from some type of other illness that they'd had for a long time, and it wasn't exacerbated by the virus. It was them falling ill from having like a heart disease, or somebody had a tumor, and then somebody had a stroke. These are all instances that I'm aware of that people have gotten sick, but it wasn't attributable to the virus. And so like just people's health in general is completely different here. And the president is really well prepared to make sure that people are taken care of. He was, if I'm not mistaken, he was a chemist in his former profession before he became the president. So he's been working with the scientists here to not only ensure that people have whatever medicines they need, but mitigating the virus to the point where people can still travel in the way that they had been before the virus. And so like that's just been part of my experience. And like just learning about the culture, all the different foods that I've been able to experience here, just the views, like right now you can't even see it because it's actually raining pretty bad right now. Well, it's not raining anymore. It rained earlier, but it's a lot of cloud cover right now, so you can't really see the mountain. But I'm maybe about a football field, or maybe about a football field and a half away from Mount Meru. But in the village where you were with Godwin, that's actually where we'll be moving to. Like maybe I'm thinking February we'll be moving to that village. That's in Kwanakoli village, and so it's right outside of Usa River.
It's called the USA River. Wait a minute, what was he telling me that was the USA? Oh, to name the village again?
So the village where we'll be moving, where Godwin is from, that's called in Kwanakoli.
Okay.
In Kwanakoli. And so Usa River, like I thought it was USA, but apparently it's Usa, and where that might just be the way they say it. And so in Usa River, that's maybe the closest large area to
have you been to that river before? And have you seen this bridge? Have you seen the bridge that they it's like a wood sturdy bridge that they walk across? It's probably at least 30 meters across. I'm talking about kids just walk across there naturally. I'm telling you, I never did. No, I didn't. I didn't do it. No, sir. I'm gonna see if I can find that bridge one day. And I mean, but and the kids would just get up at 5 in the morning, and they walk to school. And I stayed in that village. And after a while, I want to show the picture to the people of the village that I stayed in. And he's made a lot of updates since that time. I know, and he's been showing me all the changes and fixtures and things. Let me ask this: is it still a culture of Black America, like on the vans, on the walls? different things like that, like Malcolm X, like Tupac. Talk about that a little bit.
So in a couple of different areas where we would go, either in Tingeru and Usa, Laganga, Majiachai, and Kwanakoli, there's artwork, like the same way you could be in Houston and see somebody do a mural on the side of a wall, or a mural on a business. Same thing here, and it's a lot of different entertainers and revolutionaries or activists, like just so many well-known figures in history that people would take their time and put the artwork on the wall. And it's a lot of really well-drawn art. And so that it kind of makes me feel at home. You know, it makes me feel a little more welcome than I'll be received, because people they honor our heroes. Like that's one of the common things that we have from, like, as far as me being an American and people being Tanzanian nationals. We honor the same revolutionaries, the same heroes, the same activists. And so that's really, really cool to see. And of course there's a big cultural difference, but at the same time there's a lot of commonalities, and it just takes a couple conversations that's necessary.
I want to bring in my two sisters if they have any comment on Africa and what they've heard so far. First of all, I want to make sure people realize where we're talking about. We're talking about Arusha, Tanzania, which is in the continent of Africa, surrounded by Kenya on one side. Is Somalia on the other side?
If I'm not mistaken, it's Kenya, Uganda, Zimbabwe is a little bit further. Somalia is actually, I think, it's one of the neighboring countries, but there's a little bit of a land strip in between Somalia.
Okay. And it's on the coast, like, also. And you're the second largest city in Tanzania. The first largest is, do you remember the name of that? The largest city.
Dar es Salaam.
Say it again.
The largest city in Tanzania is Dar es Salaam.
Dar es Salaam. So we're learning some geography also, and a lot of what we hear about Africa is not true. Now, my experience also is I didn't see any starvation where I was. Now, the thing is, it doesn't have as much refrigeration. When I was there in 2012, the refrigeration and the lighting is the thing that need more of. But no starvation and so forth. And I tell you the story, there were tourists, white tourists around there taking pictures of little black kids. And of course, Godwin got his camera and started taking pictures of them, and they didn't like that. They didn't like that. Ask them about that story. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our other two guests, and we're waiting on them to come in if they would like to join. However, right now, for those who didn't get a chance to see our previous videos, we're going to take a break and show those, but we're still going to talk while they go on also. This, in my opinion, was a very good tune for the season of the new year. Very nice tone and music. Brother Sintwale, you been listening to that African beats?
I have a little bit, yes. So normally when we try, there's always
yes, sir.
Music somewhere. So like a lot of businesses, they'll either have like a big stereo playing, or there'll be music played.
Might as well keep that and let's go into it after the video. Let's let them enjoy it a little bit. I actually started recording slow. That's why I didn't have this on the first version, so that's why I wanted to play it again, brother. All right, we're gonna stop the share on that. You was talking about music that you are starting to become adjusted to. What's some of the other cultural things that you have found in walking in Arusha, in those malls? I showed a picture, and we're gonna go back and show a picture of one of the malls also. Talk about that a little bit.
So the locations where I've been kind of frequenting, they are I go to the whenever we need to get food, I'll go to either the USA River market, or I go to the Tengeru market, or to the Central Market in Arusha town. And I actually haven't been to the malls, but in order to get food, we would go to the big markets. And it's a cultural a massive cultural experience, and a really a high intensity sensory overload. So that's to say, it's a lot of sights, like so many different colors and just people and foods. It's a lot of smells, a lot of different sounds. It's just music being played wherever we go. People are either playing like some of the older music from the area that's local, or they playing some of the newer music from a local artist as well. And so like this, it's normally not just silence going on. It's a lot of different noises going on, but all of the senses are being utilized whenever we go out to these markets. And so because there's so many people, and everybody's trying to get your attention, and like of course like in America I could fit in and kind of be under the radar, but here, as soon as I come close to the area, people know, like they know I'm an American. They can see me from a mile away. And so
they didn't know about me until I actually started speaking. But like I'd be on the bus, and I wouldn't say anything till I'm almost to where I'm at, and then a crowd around me and ask questions. So have you had some of those experiences?
Yeah, pretty much everywhere I go. Like if I'm out either by myself, then I'll ask somebody where something is or how to get somewhere. And my accent is the accent I have now, but I speak in like really broken Swahili. And so once they realize that, they kind of taken aback, and then they start to they start to speak with me, and they the word to say slowly is pole pole, or I might have to say pole pole, and they'll slow they speaking down, because they know they're not talking.
Pole means slow down?
Well, no. I'm saying like whenever I'm talking to the locals, I'll have to say pole pole, and then they would slow down in their with their language, because they be speaking fluent, and so I can't understand it that fast. But then once they realize I'm not from here, then they'll start communicating with me on a level a little bit slower to where I can understand. And then when it comes to having to buy something, I know more often than not they're gonna give me what they call either a foreigner price or American price. And so just walking with the brother Godwin, he's showed me like a lot of different prices for food, and prices for products, or for just goods that people are selling. And so they're not aware that I'm aware that I'm gonna I'll ask them Shingapi, and that's how much money or how many shillings, and so they'll give me a number, and they'd be expecting me to pay that number, but I'll give them a lower number as a counter offer, and then we'll start to haggle back and forth, making negotiations to see if we can see if they can get the best price, or see if I can get the best price, and I'll do my best to meet right in the middle. Yeah.
Wait, you do stuff like that with groceries as well?
Yeah. 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 Nothing is.
Can you put your video screen on, ladies? Can y'all put your video screens on?
I'm still in the car.
Okay. All right. Well, wait till you get to where you got to go. Be safe. My brother, let me ask this. They have different colored money. I had some of that money. Do you have you only used dollars, or have you used Tanzania money? And tell us something about what you see about possible investments, foreign exchange, any of those kinds of things.
So I'll tag it, or I'll put it into the group, the Sourceseeker group, the post that I made about the money, and I put all the different currency bills on there, and I'm actually gonna do one about the coins too. But so there's a $1,000 bill, a $5,000 bill, and a $10,000 bill, and so that's the paper currency that's used regularly. And
do those three have different colors?
And it's also it's blue, purple, and red for those in each order. And so normally what I do, I would go to the ATM, and I'll basically make the currency exchange. I would get US dollars for T shillings, and so it's about $1 to 2,000, roughly 2,300 T shillings, and so I would get like probably like 100,000 out, just to make sure I have money on me. If I need to get food, I'd be able to get that. If I want to buy a small little trinket or some small piece of technology, I can do that. But
so like you've actually been there, and we got a real good. We had a little delay there for a second, but we actually have a great connection.
Yes.
You've actually been there 3 months now.
Well, we got here in at the end of October, like the last day in October was when we got here. We actually arrived we arrived at Dar es Salaam on the 30th of October. October 30th, we got in Dar es Salaam, and that we stayed the night in Dar, and then the next day we flew to Arusha. It's about a 10-hour drive, and I don't want the children to be doing a 10-hour drive right now. That'll probably be later. But we took the flight, and I think the flight was roughly 4 hours. We actually flew from Dar to Zanzibar, and then from Zanzibar to the Kilimanjaro airport. And then
Zanzibar, you said Zanzibar?
Zanzibar. So
okay,
that's
where is that? Is that in Tanzania?
So for as far as a little history, Tanganyika, that was the historical area that we're in right now, that was under German rule during colonial times. And then there was Zanzibar. It was that's like a separate island, but it was still very closely related to Tanzania. And so before there was a Tanzania, this is after, like right after the Germans got kicked out by the British, and then right after the British left, the Tanganyika region and the Zanzibar region, they joined together, and so that created Tanzania. And so the people, like the president, I think his name was Nyerere, or he might actually been after. Yeah, I think Nyerere was after the joining of those those states. Once they joined the states, then they put the currency together and put the governments together and made Tanzania, which is the landmass, or not landmass, but it's the border for the country on the continent that we know, and it also includes the island of Zanzibar.
Okay, I very good, brother. I appreciate it. We talking about life in Arusha, Tanzania. We're talking with my brother Sintwali from Houston, who now lives in Arusha, Tanzania. We're gonna take a break, and while we are showing this video that I talked about, I'm gonna say a few things, and I'm gonna want you to look at the pictures and describe some of the things you see. We showed this video in the beginning, and I want the people to see some of what we are talking about.
Okay.
Let me go back to the beginning of it.
Mhm.
All right, this is Kilimanjaro, a scene of Kilimanjaro. Have you been to Kilimanjaro several times?
Not yet. So Kilimanjaro. So actually, I'll say this. Part of our being here, is moving for the long term. I personally, I don't plan on going back to America, and so
Okay.
there's a lot of different, I guess, tourist sites that we haven't done yet. There's a couple that we have, but a couple that we have not. And Kilimanjaro is one we have not done yet. But since we plan on being here for the long term, we have the time to we had the opportunity to kind of plan it out ahead to actually go ahead and go. But from there's a couple different areas in the city where we can see Kilimanjaro really well in the daytime without a bunch of clouds.
I just want to reinforce with people, this is the second largest mountain in the world, and it covers, I know it covers, it's like crosses Kenya into Tanzania, and it's a very, very large mountain. And Mount Meru is quite big also. So you are surrounded by mountains. I'm gonna go to the next picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on here. All right. This is one of the villages that I went in. I know I went into this village. And you see in the background, you see a lot of the vans and the transportation. You want to talk a little bit about the villages?
What's better about Africa than America?
Say again.
So
which is better? Why?
As far as the villages go, and like most people, when they hear the word village, what comes to mind is huts in a circle or huts in some type of formation, and one central hut in the middle, and like big wide open marketplaces. So there are places in the continent like that. However,
most of them are separated by large stretches of land, are they not?
There are, yes. There are large swaths of land in between locations. However, the picture here, this is basically still what can be considered a village, because it's not. This is
more like a mall.
Yeah, there you go. This is more along the lines of a commercial area in the village.
This is not a living quarters. This is a mall where they have different things for purchase. I probably used the wrong term when I used village. I'll show a picture of where I stayed, and it'll show a little bit more. Let me go to the next picture.
When people say villages, that's still what they mean here.
Yeah.
But, in other countries, the word village, and that's what comes to people's mind when they think of village first and foremost. But and the thing is, there are areas that's still like this as far as villages go, but this is primarily not the case in Tanzania anymore.
But this was a mall, though. I used the wrong term. This is more like a mall in the area. Now, this is where I stayed. I stayed here, and I'm sure my brother has had an opportunity to upgrade it, because he was upgrading all the time. And I helped to do a little bit of the clearing. And if you look at some of the greenery in the background, I woke up to the Columbine, I believe they're called Columbine monkeys, the blue monkeys. Go ahead.
Yes, the colobus monkeys. So yeah, they pretty loud in the morning. And like they black and white, real long tail, and you can spot them because they sit on the branch and the tail hangs down from the tree, and that's really one of the few ways that you can actually see them and recognize that they're there, because otherwise you wouldn't know. But and they make a real distinct sound. I can't even really describe the sound.
It's so many sounds that you hear, and you're just so connected to nature also. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and went down to the river because I kept thinking about, I see Godwin and them kids walk across that bridge real easily. You know, it was on my mind and I went, nobody was with me. I tried to do it myself. I had to come back. Let me go to the next picture. Okay, I assume this is at the Serengeti.
Yes.
You haven't got a chance to go there yet, have you?
Yeah, no safari yet. That'll a little bit down the line too.
I can't hear you. Ask your question. Okay, we'll come back to you. But of course,
I said, what type of bugs? Like
what kind of what?
Like the insects, the bugs that like the rodents.
Oh, okay. Brother Sintwali, you want to talk about that?
So, growing up in Texas, they're like, we already know the insects that we see out there. I think maybe flies are the only insects that I've seen here in Tanzania that are also in America or in Texas at least. And so the insect life is more than I can count. Is completely different. There's insects that I've never ever seen in my whole life at all. There's if I'm not mistaken, it's called a Nairobi fly. I had Godwin swat one of those off of me because they apparently they dig under your skin and they'll crawl under your skin and make you real sick. And so like, of course we don't have Nairobi flies in America. And so like it's just a lot of different wildlife, and that's like not even including any big animals. But in the area where I'm at, there's no major predators and nothing like that. You have to go out to the the flat plains, like the areas where, like in that picture where the lions were, like the lions, the rhinoceros, the elephants and giraffes. That's more normally in the Serengeti or like the Ngorongoro. Ngorongoro.
And how far are you all from the Serengeti? How far is Godwin's village?
From where I'm at right now in Tengeru, it's maybe about maybe a 30-minute drive from here to Godwin's village, and then from Godwin's village, I think it's probably it's a couple hours to get to the Serengeti.
It's sort of close to the airport.
Yes, there you go. So it's okay. So if I'm not mistaken, coming from here going towards the airport, that was probably maybe like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours from here to the airport.
This is Brother Godwin King. This was my guide when I went there in 2012, and he is the owner of Travel Wonderful Tanzania. And if you want to travel throughout that area, you contact him. You can contact me, and I'll contact him for you, and he will show you around and take care of you. And did you want to share anything about Brother Godwin, Brother Sintwali?
I'll share some things about him. So I can say that not only is it a blessing to have been able to interact with this brother, because he's like a class act compared to majority of the people that I've met.
Have you met his mother and his sister?
I haven't met his sister yet, but I have met his mother and his father, and I met one of his brothers as well.
Yes, brother. Yeah. That's family. Let me go on with the pictures here.
Yeah, really good people.
Yes, and it's good to have somebody across the world. This is a lot of people's interpretation of Africa, but even though there is culture, there's also modern, everything, technology, anything you can think of here in America and the States, you can have in Africa and in Arusha, downtown Arusha. Do you want to talk about the modernization of some of Africa?
So I could start with like right now in front of me, there's of course there's a TV like most places, but there's a cable box here, and then on the outside of the house there's a satellite dish, and so all of the different TV stuff that you could think of that's here. The internet is here. That's how I'm actually able to communicate right now using the internet, like the Wi-Fi. And then everybody has at least two cell phones. I haven't seen one person that only had one, and if they only had one, it's because the other one was in the pocket. So everybody has cell phones here.
See, that's a big change since the time I was there. Now, everybody was trying to get one when I was there in 2012, but they were so really pushing to get that one. Everybody was, no matter where you stayed.
Most people have a cell phone, and I think most people actually have two now.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of more vehicles here than I think it was. Okay, so this is the picture of a shuttle. But like we were saying earlier, the dollar, it's a much smaller version of this. And so a lot of people get around like this. But now I think probably from 2012 to now, a lot more vehicles from Europe have come here now. And then also I think like maybe within the past 3 years, there's been a major influx of motorcycles. And so there's a lot of the younger brothers here. They drive around on motorcycles, and they use the motorcycles as not only as a form of transportation, but as a form of commerce. So you pay maybe like 1,000 T-shillings or 2,000 or 3,000, and they'll you hop on the back of the motorcycle. It's called a pika pika. You hop on a motorcycle, and they'll take you wherever you need to go. And then like that's just a way for people to make money, and it's real crazy. But like everything that comes with having a motorcycle, like of course you want to wear a helmet, but accidents happen on the motorcycles. I've seen three different accidents since I've been here of people driving on the motorcycles. It's really dangerous, and people don't honor or respect the people on the motorcycles on the road, and so it's really, really dangerous. And if I'm not mistaken, Godwin said that the day before we got to Arusha, there was a funeral for one of the brothers who had got killed on the motorcycle. He had a real bad accident, and so everything that comes with motorcycles comes with them to a different location where they're not before. And there's no real licensing for the motorcycles, and there is a licensing, but the authorities don't really enforce it, and so people, all you gotta do is get like $1,000 US, and you get your motorcycle. And it 9 times out of 10 it'll be a secondhand motorcycle, but they don't care, like they need to get around, get where they need to go, and so they'll get that money together. And people have, like, it's a lot of motorcycles here now. Like it's actually a whole transportation industry now based off of the motorcycle.
Yes, brother. I just want to say we have had a very informative show, and we got a little bit more to go. My sister, Josiah, do you have any comments on what we've been talking about? What is your impression of Africa, and what do you believe the reality of Africa is?
I understand.
Josiah?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, my impression of Africa, I did think that it was a lot of starving kids out there. I actually learned a lot more listening than I know from shared knowledge I have gained over the years. And I had a question. I had one of the questions is like, is there like different type of technology?
Can you put your face more into the screen? We can see half of it. Raise it. There you go. That's better. Right there.
Okay. I was asking, like, are there any type of like different celebrations that you guys celebrate out there other than here in America, or like you guys have like different technologies and stuff that we don't have down here?
So as far as technology, everything that you can find in Western countries and Chinese countries, all of that is here. Different technologies. There might be like smaller experimental technologies that people are creating as far as solar advances in that field of industry or technology, solar. And then people are constantly working on different engines for transportation. That's the two things that I've seen that I haven't seen in America. Of course, they have solar in America, but it's not to the same level here. The cost for it is marginal compared. And then as far as holidays, so of course, there's no Thanksgiving or no Columbus Day and no President's Day, and like that. But so Tanzania is primarily Christian and Muslim. So if you're aware of the Muslim calendar, all of those holidays are here. And then I know for sure you're aware of just the regular American holidays that's religious based, Easter, Christmas, Lent. Those are practiced here as well, which kind of threw me for a loop. I was in the grocery store and I heard the Temptations Christmas song, Silent Night, come on in the grocery store. So my mind was not handling that well.
I bet
My
you
mind was
did.
not handling.
Do you still celebrate Kwanzaa?
Say again, Bam.
So Kwanzaa, this year was the first time Kwanzaa was being practiced. I think partially because we were here, but there was no Kwanzaa practices before, and there's actually a pretty large African American community here that's constantly growing. And but even with that, even with those African Americans here, they just chose not to practice Kwanzaa. And like me personally, I observe the Kwanzaa principles, but making a whole event out of it every day, that's not what I choose to do. But my wife, she does, and so she's gotten with some of the people here, and they've coordinated and made each day an event. And so something happened.
How many African Americans are there with you? Maybe 100?
There may be, I think maybe between 60 and 100 individuals. But as far as like an actual number, I don't know, because I of course I haven't met them all yet. But there's like a couple of different chat groups online and through WhatsApp that we all use and we communicate. And like okay, so in the 60s, in the 70s, apparently there was like almost 1,000 African Americans here. But then some whole craziness going on with not only with the government, and those basically they was revolutionaries, came from America because they was just tired of what the experience in America, came here, and they brought that revolutionary but also American mindset with them, and things kind of went off the rails, and a lot of people went to jail. A lot of people got extradited or just kicked out of the country. Some of them had to go to other countries. Some of them went back to America. And so the number of African Americans that was here is a lot smaller, but at the same time, it's constantly growing. It's growing every year.
Powerful, powerful. Young ladies, did you have any other questions about the experience in Africa? This is Hip Hop College Source, talking to you with guests from Arusha, Tanzania, my brother Sintwali. We have a couple of young ladies with us that are learning about Africa, but at the same time, they're going to share a little bit about the video that we're going to watch at the end of the show, which is God Give Me the Strength to Go Further. Other things about Africa, do they talk about among themselves the colonialization, talk about the larger context of how the outside continents in the world looks upon Africa?
So from what I can tell, so Tanzania was Tanzania gained its independence in, I think, 1964, and so they don't really talk about it. Like they know it's part of it, and so they have decided to move on, but they also don't have to worry about the British and the Germans interfering with the government. And when that does happen, it's handled, it's taken care of. It's not to the point where you got so many foreign interests in interjecting in people's lives the way it is in America. So like we in America, we 1965 was when that last Civil Rights Act was passed, but we also still, like, people are still in America, and so we constantly have to deal with governmental influence in our lives on so many levels. here in Tanzania, it's not the same. So the government takes care of the people, and the government recognizes that that there is no power without the people. And so,
could you give an example?
Say that again, ma'am.
The autonomy that people have, like people can basically govern themselves. They can make sure that instead of going to the courts with a situation between people, they handle it amongst themselves. They talk it out, and they make business deals. They make negotiations. They actually work it out. And if it gets to the point where somebody has to get sued or the police have to get involved, it's a lot more of a peaceful situation. It's more communicating than it is than fighting or anybody getting killed like that. It's a lot more civil than people think it is than it is here, or than it is in America than here. I've seen maybe one little scuffle compared to weeks and months of people fighting. And so in America, like, and it was I'm pretty sure that the fight was over some money, but it's not necessarily the money that's the issue, it's the principle. And so people will get a little excited over the principle of issues, not necessarily the issue at hand. It's like, you don't do people like that. You don't do me like that. I'm not gonna do you like that. So we about to fight over it, as opposed to you took my money, or you stepped on my shoe, or you knocked over my clothes or knocked over my food. It's the principle. It's like, and I'll say people are a lot more, people have manners here. It's not to say people don't have manners in America, but that's to say if somebody makes a mistake and knocks over somebody's basket of fruits or vegetables, they gonna say, "Oh, I apologize." They say "pole," to apologize, and they'll help them pick it up. And then, as opposed to just looking at them like they're crazy and walking past them, it's a lot more. Just to the lack of a better word, just to say it's friendly here. Like, a lot of people, they don't really have that individualism mindset. There is individualism here, like it is everywhere in the world, but there's also a greater sense of community than most places that I've been. And that's including all the American cities and states I've been in, but all of the different countries I've been in. That sense of community and camaraderie is through the roof compared to a lot of places.
Well, we know that comes about because of the manifest destiny Western culture that puts in us that you got to look to be better than this person and take what they have and so forth. So we could see, the surroundings and why that it takes place. And if our motherland had not been injected with Western culture, maybe more of that mindset might have spread throughout the world. That would have been a great thing. We are at the end of our program. I appreciate everybody for sharing with us. Now, to end out, and before I end out, I want to have the two ladies share what they would like to share about what they would like to see in the coming year of 2021. What would, ladies, what would you all like to see happen in 2021?
I want to see some more changes, like, to our government. It's a lot of stuff that's going on.
Can you speak into the camera, man?
I feel like it's a lot of stuff that's going on that's been happening this year. A lot of problems that haven't been fixed. Another year of government just trying to work around fixing issues that aren't really becoming to a fix. I feel like since we have a black woman in the office, I feel like, and then as well, like, we just got a bad man out of the office. So the fact that we got new government, new changes, I feel like we should see more progress.
That sounds good. I heard somebody once say, just because the leadership changes doesn't mean the mindset's going to change. So we still going to have to keep on keeping on. Ma'am?
But the mindset of us has changed. I feel like this year has been an awakening for a lot of people. For a lot of people, they haven't a lot of problems that people wasn't paying attention to. A lot of people have now started to pay attention. People weren't aware. I feel like people have forgotten that we are not free. Yes, we have our constitution, these rules that they make us abide by, but we are still not free. We still are going through this oppression, and we need better change. We need more of a change. We need progression. We need to do this together. It has to be something that everybody as a whole has to do. It can't just be our government. Even if our government don't want to do that, us as the people, we people that's supposed to influence that change. And if people just forget about it and be like, no, we don't want to do that, and we just like the protest, like people just protest and then stop protesting, then they gon'
But you're gonna want to accomplish something in the protest. You just don't want to protest for protest's sake. So you got to be able to accomplish something when you protest. Sister Josiah, what do you say about that?
I mean, I agree with Janae 100%, but I honestly feel like we should start in the core. We need to change. We got Trump out the office, got somebody better, but I mean, that's not really one of our biggest problems. I feel like we should start in the core, like we're in the beginning, like in the little towns, like the little mayor. Be careful who you elect in, because that affects the president and all that other stuff. And I just feel like, I just hope that 2021, I don't know, it's just, this year been crazy. I just hope it goes a lot more smoother. I don't even know, honestly. I just hope that we get better
we need our blessings.
Say again?
We need our blessings. We need more blessings this year. We had a whole bunch of hardships this year. So I think next year we need a lot more blessings. It should be a come up from this downfall.
We got to work together to make the blessings.
Our generation is coming together as it is, like for the instance, like she said, with the protesting. Even though we should do more as a generation, I feel like that's starting somewhere. I feel like by the end of 2021, we will see a big major change from 2020.
And when we put the show out on the air online, we will have some attachments. We will have some original songs also. We are at the end of our time. Brother Sintwali, do you want to comment on the young ladies before we go? What their outlook is?
It's refreshing to hear, because I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people think that because there's a new president, things are going to automatically get better. But hearing that y'all understand that just because there's a new president, that doesn't necessarily mean things are going to get better. We have to make the changes ourselves. If anything is going to change this year, it has to start within each individual. And I think it's a blessing to hear young people say that, because I think most people think that the government is going to make those changes for us, when we should know better by now. And so the future is looking bright. It's really good to hear those perspectives.
All right, we are at the end of our show. However, we are going to have 2 songs at the end of our show here, and we're going to let the audience, and let me make sure let me do that. Let me make sure I have the right songs here. Okay. I'm still working on it. I hope we can hear that.
It's a holiday, come on, celebrate and rejoice. It's Kwanzaa. Spreading unity in our families and communities. Kwanzaa. Because our legacy makes us so strong. Yeah. So let us come together to celebrate this season of Kwanzaa. reflect upon our past, we've come so far. Remembering all of those who came before us on Kwanzaa. From Rosa to Malcolm to Dr. King and Turner. Yeah. From Du Bois to Ashanti Wall. We honor you on Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa, yeah. It's time to celebrate. On this day, we got Umoja. Umoja. Kuchakalia. Ujama. Jama. Nia. Kumba. That is what we need. Night by night, we light a candle as we reflect on what it means to love. What it means to love. We got the red for the blood and black for us. And the green for the land, yes, for the land. It is Kwanzaa. Oh, oh. It is Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa, yeah. It's time to celebrate. Yeah. On this day, we need unity, self-determination, collective work and economic opportunity. Yeah. Purpose is what we need, and creativity. Faith is what we really need. Umoja, yeah. Kujichagulia. Ujama. Nia. Kumba, yeah. Faith is what we really need.
We're still sharing the screen, guys, and this is a video we went.
Go further, go further, go further.
This is the Sourceseeker Hour, and this was a special episode with Brother Sitwale from Tanzania, Africa. We are at the end of our episode, and we're going to share with you our theme
from our brother,
for 2020, which was go further. God give me the strength to go further. And we had a lot of group of people on this episode, and we want to share.
Give me the strength to go further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
Further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
Give me the strength to go further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
Give me the strength to go further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
Dame el poder, Dios mío, Señor, para seguir adelante.
Give me the strength to go further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
Give me the strength to go further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
God, help us maximize our life through sensible spiritual strategies that will lead to balance, harmony, and peace. Replace our negative blocks with positive ones.
Go further, go further, go further. Give me the strength to go further.
Give me the strength to go further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
Feel something stirring inside me, Lord. Your spirit flowing through me. Can't contain my fire. Y'all, please, Lord, set me free.
Give me the strength to go further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
All right, everybody. I just want to give the girls a chance to say, give us the strength to go further. Brother Sitwale, if you want to share it, just say, give us the strength to go further, God, this year. Give us the strength to do better as we get ready to go back to the episode. Tell us to give us the strength to go further, Sister Janae.
Give us the strength to go further, Lord.
Yes, thank you all. We're going to show back our video, and we thank you all. Give me the strength to go further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
It's not.
Further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
Dame el poder, Dios mío, Señor, para seguir adelante.
Give
Give me the strength to go further, Lord. Give me strength to go further.
Doubters, haters all around me, Lord. Maybe you want to scream and shout. If you're not a part of helping me, then please go your way out. Give me the strength to go further, Lord. Give me the strength to go further.
Doubters and haters all around me, Lord. Makes me shout and scream. You're not a part of helping, Lord. Please help them.
We got some little singers there.
Lord, give me strength to go further. This is the time and place to be. Lord, be this prayer.
Okay, everybody, we're gonna let it play as we go out in the background. I thank everybody. I'll see you next week. Next week is post-COVID teacher strategies here on the Sourceseeker Hour. Every week, we got something special. Thank you all very much. We'll see you, brother from Africa. You take care, hold strong. Everybody, thank you. The Sourceseeker Hour. We'll see you. Thank you. Have a good day.